Yes, indeed. We are here, we are here. Absolutely. We are pleased that we have pushed you into checking in with us and wanting this clarification, because we understand that with much egos in the spiritual world, you are using terms and labels, and you're getting confused. And so we are saying there is a difference between ascension and transcension, beyond a difference. But it is like saying your left, there is a difference between the left leg and the right leg. They're different, but there is different steps to it. And so we say the ascension process is about expanding your mindsets to be able to have a higher frequency vibration, to be able to get that step forward into being able to view bigger perspectives, to be able to start trusting beyond yourselves that there is more of you to you than just you and your physical body. And so when you accept that, and when you have an open mind to all of the ascension processes, then you get to be able to consider and comprehend things such as transcension. And so it is stepping stones. The ascension is a stepping stone towards transcension. And so it is needed to expand your mind first, to be able to then expand your physical body, to leave the 3D body, the carbon-based body, to transcend through, change through, to evolve through. If we wanted to label this as the part of the caterpillar phase, while the small caterpillar with a small mind starts off from that egg, which is another process of evolution for that stage. So it's morphed and merged out as a caterpillar, and you can see the expansion of that caterpillar. Think about that as the expansion of your mind. And the bigger and bigger and bigger your mindset becomes, the bigger your body becomes. In the analogy of the caterpillar, be in your mindset, be in your perspectives, your considerations, your emotions. The bigger the love that you have for yourself, the bigger the love you have for all, to be able to fully step into unconditional loving every experience that you're having, knowing it is purposeful, knowing it is significant, knowing it is intentional, to be able to help those smaller caterpillars fatten up their mindsets, shall we say. And so what happens when you get to that pivotal point of expanding your mind so much, and your body is so high vibrational, so uplifted with love, and a higher frequency that is the perspective you seek for all the experiences of this planet, as you have healed and grown, mastered your range of emotions, to realize that while something may trigger you into anger or despair or heartbreak, it must come then and be processed then through a range of emotions, which we still call the unconditional love range of emotions. Acceptance, trust, and learn and seek the lessons for that experience. We're not saying avoid the negative emotions or the dense or lower vibrational emotions. Honor them for the lessons and experience, but do not get stuck there. When you can have gratitude, and when you can have unconditional love for all of your experiences, suddenly your shift of your perspective of life is greatly uplifted. We see many people wanting to keep you in fear. They're talking about certain events. They're talking about certain people that trigger you into fear, frustration, anger. So we're saying the mindset of focusing on people is a limited one. Its concepts, its range of emotions, its purposes. When you're focusing on an event, we would like to bring your attention and remind you of the September 11 event. and what that triggered people to notice, to reveal, to learn, and to grow from. And we understand many people are very bitter and angry about that event because they have a perception of what really went on that day. And so they're carrying around that resentfulness, they're carrying around that fear, that anger, and this is no longer serving them. Everything there was to awaken. Everything there actually, and from our perspective, was to bring all of those people who witnessed this to come together to speak and share their truth. But they have been censored. They've even been confused. And so the truth must be shared. But we know that censorship is very strong. And this was supposed to be their bigger awakening to question. But they started doubting themselves and being confused. And when you are confused about what you experienced and felt and learned and grew from there, many people will shut down. Once you realize the other agendas that are on this planet, you become very vulnerable, scared, and all sorts of range of emotions. That usually shuts down people. So emotions, they don't want to connect and share, and they're too traumatized. This is a big deal. We do not say to let go of we do not say to let go of your experiences. We're saying to empower yourself back through that. It was a world lesson. The world was shocked with that experience, and your lives, as you know it, were changed forever that day. Even for those people who did not live in that country, it's a statement piece for your history. It was to get attention, and it was for the truth to come out, and it has in various circles. But as humans are very distracted, other new topical things came to distract them. The truth always comes out. You may not find it in this lifetime, but the truth will always be the truth. You can explore different perspectives from the events, but when you see things from our perspective, you see all that has gone on and taken place. And so it is always observations and to see how the causality and of the effects of certain events play out. We want to say that many people on this planet have a very interesting emotional feeling about the bomb in Hiroshima. Some people assume, oh, it must be another lifetime I had there because I'm being very emotionally reactive to this. They see the footage of the mushroom cloud, and they have this interesting sense, an interesting knowing, and it can bring many people to tears when they feel into and reflect that event, and they're not too sure why. And we say when they have such sessions and they allow us to connect in to explain to them what's going on, their soul, who is deeply connected to the soul of this planet, knows that that event really sealed a lot of fate and a lot of timelines and possibilities. Because once humans, or once any beings on any 3D planet starts playing with technology such as nuclear weapons and weapons in general, there is a certain degree where we get very concerned because while some people feel entitled to be able to deliver and set nuclear destruction on other countries, this is not something that we tolerate in terms of allowing. And so this got our attention. And so while it was taken upon surprise of what was going on, the watchers and the guardians of this planet saw this event, and we knew that this was taking a toll. It changed, impacted, deeply impacted. And we knew then that this planet needed more support. And so the vehicle is questioning, well, why was this allowed? Why was this possibly allowed? And we were reminding her that those who had exit points from that bomb, their lives had been, their free will had been taken from them so dramatically from the prior events that actually having this exit point from that bomb actually was a blessing for them, for their souls. The whole planet needed to have awoken to misuse of power. But of course, again, it got distracted. As we was mentioning about the September 11 event, you were all supposed to awaken to this and realize this is not how you want to live. You are one planet and you are humans. You are all humans, regardless of your soul essence experiences. You're all physically human. You're all supposed to get on, and you're all supposed to look at each other like brothers and sisters and actually have love for each other as if you are family, as if you respect each other, if you see no separation, regardless of your flags that you have for your nations. You are all deeply connected because we are all one. And so these are lessons. And when these big events do occur, of course, there is much deliberations and reviews from our perspective of what's going on as your guides, as those who have got more capacity to be able to, what you could call, change things. We have we want to say we have sovereignty over the planet in terms of if humans are going to use their free will to try and destroy and destruct things that they have really no right to be able to do, we can intervene. And we have disarmed, as we have said before, many bombs and many weapons that could cause massive destruction. Because when we view out and let it play out and see the carnage of those events taking place, it doesn't serve. It isn't the right way. The lessons aren't picked up and considered. And so there is much that we do to keep you safe from each other, as you are noticing that many people are wanting to create the wars and the problems because there is an industry in creating wars and problems. It's incredibly profitable. And so when they have the belief that they are leaders and that they can do as they will to others to get their leverage and their advantage points and their payoffs financially and emotionally, it's so intriguing how you cannot respect each other, yet your souls deeply desire this. And so this is the fun part of living in a 3D planet with many souls from many different backgrounds. You have those who love that range of density that incites them and excites them to see blood, chaos, carnage, to have such stronghold over competitions that they financially destroy them, physically hurt them. This is something that some collectives cherish and flourish over and relish, and they enjoy it greatly. And then there are those other collectives, those other soul essences, also living these experiences here on Earth that find this type of aggression and manipulation and agenda quite repulsive and quite obscene, because their perspective is to love all and be unconditionally loving, and that there is always fantastic resolutions when you can come and have any discussion with maturity and respect and be able to see both sides and all sides of the perspective. There is no such thing as a two-sided coin. It's a multi-layered levels of perspectives to everything that must be considered. However, if you're only focusing on a third dimensional life and layers of that experience. Of course, you probably would only consider there's only two sides of the perspective, and there is much more than that. And so it just depends on where you are at on your journey with your caterpillar phases. And so we are weaving back into reminding you that some of you are very fat and juicy and delicious caterpillars, shall we say, with much love, as you have advanced and evolved your mindsets. And your energy fields are big and high vibrational and buzzing and beaming. And we can see many big light energy beings here already, maintaining themselves with great respect and due diligence and full responsibilities of their own inner work, their own perspectives and mindsets, and to be open to bigger concepts that their own teams are pushing them and reminding them to expand, expand, expand. And as we would say, the ascension steps is really the caterpillar phase. The transcension step is when it morphs and evolves into the butterfly. You can see the steps that one must take. It is a journey. And of course, once you evolve into your crystalline bodies, there is still some fine-tuning and evolving even in those themselves. But the more you evolve, the less physical you are in what you would perceive as physical. The more you evolve, the more you turn into light energy. And that starts vibrating at such a higher frequency rate that you certainly wouldn't be able to see that in your 3D eyes. And it is a fantastic evolvement and evolution. But it is definitely a journey, and there is much more steps than being just the egg, the caterpillar, and the butterfly. And you know that each step forward can feel like a marathon sometimes. But we say even the butterfly isn't the end stage. Because as you know, when the death cycle occurs to that butterfly, you know that soul lifts out of that butterfly and it can do other things with its choices. Just because the soul is not attached to a body does not suggest that it has no consciousness. There is consciousness all around you, but it is invisible to your naked eye, does not have a body. It is what you could even say is the air around you is a consciousness. And if you remove the veil of your illusion and the 3D and peered through it, you would realize you are completely surrounded by all consciousnesses that there is. So we see you in the illusion of being alone, feeling like you are the only and loneliest caterpillar on this planet. And we say the more you broaden your senses, the more you strengthen your connections and you're noticing your energy fields, the more you're going to notice that there are those beings, those consciousnesses who do not have physical being bodies. They are being consciousnesses. That is it. And they don't need the attachment of the bodies. They are there to witness you, to sense into you, to prompt you. Many times you have these little epiphanies in your minds, these little inspirational thoughts. But if you're distracting yourselves, oh gosh, you distract yourselves, you're not truly noticing all of the messages that pop into your head. You are dismissing more than you are noticing. And we are saying you need to be more open to the noticing of the thoughts. You must notice your thoughts. While you have been managing trying to notice your emotions and the range of emotions that you're feeling, also now pay attention to your thoughts that pop in. Many of you don't want to start thinking again. Many of you do not want to notice your own thoughts. And so you're only noticing your reactions and your physical daily duties. And so it's about slowing down what you're physically doing. This is why many people love to meditate, because they are not distracting themselves. Actually, they can distract themselves with physical things, but to then go within their mindsets and notice their thoughts while they're doing repetitive duties such as dishes or washing, folding washing, or something that is a routine. While your body is busy being distracted, your mind can go within. But are you noticing the thoughts that you have within, or are you just noticing a void? Are you avoiding thinking within yourself? And what are you avoiding, and what do you notice when you start paying attention to the thoughts that are in your mind? Can you pay attention to the thoughts that are in your mind, and can you apply the information and senses that those thoughts are giving you? That is truly a great self-reflective practice we would like you to consider. And so we know we fumble over ourselves as we're trying to translate what our meanings are. We know that you love labels. So when we say meditate, someone may have an assumption that meditation would look like one thing. And often you are all meditating while doing certain physical activities. For some people, it is too much of a distraction. They really want to focus on their minds and what is coming into their minds. So they like to detach and not do anything physical. And they want to be centered. They want to focus on their breath and just be still. There is a stillness and there is an isness that they need and want to be able to focus on the thoughts that come into their minds. It is a training exercise to do that. Many people don't like being still. They find it very uncomfortable. Many people don't like to be alone because of that. They don't want to notice what's going on within them. And so they feel very busy and they need to be very social and be distracted by other people. And this was part of locking people down and to distract them from their daily work routines and to really go within. It is so important to go within and just focusing on what is the feelings and thoughts and senses that go on in your mind's eye when you stop and notice and trust that whatever is coming into your mind's eye is significant. It will not be pictures, potentially. It will not be sounds. It is senses. Senses of feelings and thoughts, and it may start off slow. But again, it's about practice. And connecting in truly and deeply and purely with us takes practice. Practice makes perfect. You have all heard. But many of you are impatient and dismissive, and if it doesn't work out once perfectly to your expectations and needs, you throw it away as if it is not significant or purposeful. So we suggest you all explore this yourselves and see how you feel about keeping still, noticing your thoughts, feelings, and perspectives to be able to enjoy your own energy fields and notice. And when you're in that deep contemplative state, notice the tensions that you have been holding on to in your body so much that you are straining certain muscles that would like to be released from your grip as you're holding on to so much tension in your minds. That is a reflection of what you're doing to the bodies. And so enjoy the relaxation when you choose to relax. enjoy the relaxation that you choose to have in your mindsets. When you choose to be able to see everything from an unconditionally loving perspective of trusting that you're just the players in this game of life on earth, and we truly are very much so here to support and to be the game and gamekeepers, if you will want to label that as such. But the life lessons and experiences we value and respect here that you all have. And so we're trying to keep the game going for you to all learn and grow and expand upon that. We understand you all are very much aware of the wrapping up of this game as it comes to an end, as everyone's starting to finish and complete and to transcend themselves. And this shift has been going on for a long time. Many people who are aware of shifting to 5D do not quite understand all the steps that one must take on their journey. And it's because they have not understood the final step of transcension. We want to say, to spell it out even further, the caterpillar does not see the butterfly phase, and the butterfly does not mourn the caterpillar phase. It's not the death of the caterpillar, but for those other caterpillars that are around, it's all a journey, an individual journey. And while you're living your best caterpillar lives on ground, once they turn and morph into butterflies, they leave. Potentially, we say the caterpillar never sees a butterfly and never ever could understand how the caterpillar could morph into a butterfly. It is an interesting concepts that we would like for you to consider and to remind you that your fears and assumptions of death can be archaic. And for many of you, you have not chosen to have painful, traumatic deaths because transcension is not painful. It's not traumatic. It's enlightenment and it's evolution. But it's about perspectives. And we say this with much love.